The article that we're talking about came out on the Daily Mail. It's titled, "Archaeologists Find More Evidence of Bible Story About Moses Leading His People to the Promised Land 3,200 Years Ago." And just in the name, in the article name, you can already see some of this sensationalism and pushing a certain direction before we get going. So let's start there, Bob, with just their headline. Archaeologists find more evidence. Is there any evidence that we should have in mind that they're building off of already?
Right. So when I read this article, I was like, well, I am going to click on this, right? Now, I'm probably clicking. Yeah, no, but I'm probably clicking on it for reasons that are different than most people. A lot of people are like, sweet, more evidence. And they click on it and they want to, for perhaps reasons of they believe the Exodus, they want to have their faith confirmed or whatever. I'm looking at it for like, first of all, let's just look at the problematic words in the title alone. Forget the rest of the article. Number one, more evidence. There is, let me just say it, there is no evidence, direct evidence of the Exodus. There's no evidence of the Exodus from Egypt. We don't have that. There's just not. Again, I'll say this again. A wheel, a chariot wheel, a wagon wheel, whatever, at the bottom of the Red Sea, of the Gulf of Aqaba, whatever, is not evidence of the Exodus. This is a maritime trade route. There were ships going up. Sometimes those ships sink. Sometimes they have carts on them. Sometimes they have, they're military ships. They're going to have chariots on them. So a wheel or something that looks like a wheel, it's not always a wheel, at the bottom of a body of water is not evidence of the Exodus. So you see this pointed to all the time. It's not evidence of anything other than something sank. More evidence of Bible story, okay, fine, about Moses leading his people to the Promised Land 3,200 years ago. So again, we have a story about Moses leading his people to the Promised Land. They're dating it 3,200 years ago, which is this late Exodus, 1,200 year, from 1,200 BC Exodus. They would certainly argue with the early Exodus folks. And you're also kind of suggesting the conquest. So they're not only talking about the Exodus story being legitimate and real, and we have definite evidence of this, but now they're talking about the conquest narrative. So on multiple fronts, I'm like, oh boy, I'm hate watching this, right? I'm hate reading this. I'm clicking on this to see, all right, let's see what this is. And let's see what the report actually says and compare it to what the article is claiming. And we'll just go bound little claim by claim and let's see what it says.
And there's a claim right up here up front that we should deal with as well. They say artifacts that date back more than 3,200 years. Now we go to the dig report and we see, okay, what periods of time are they identifying things with? The oldest finds from the excavation date by the archaeologists to the late Iron Age. That's 20% of the pottery, with 80% coming from the Byzantine period. So now if you're looking at that 3,200, you can start to get into the arguments of when are we placing the Bronze Age and the Iron Age? And the archaeologists are saying late Iron, which is not going to be at that 3,200 mark. And then predominant
1200 BC that is not late iron.
It's not late iron, and predominantly Byzantine. 80% of the pottery is Byzantine, which is definitely not 3,200 years.
Yeah, no. Byzantine. For those of you who aren't aware, the Romans come in and do their thing. We go into AD, so we're not even BC. We're going to AD, and then the Romans transition into the Byzantine Empire, and so we're well 4th, 5th century into the AD, not BC, AD, CE, and now we're working into the Byzantine period. So 1,500 years ago, right? We're like way past. Jesus is come and gone, and Romans are that's Byzantine pottery. And late iron, what are we looking at? We're looking at some, I think they're talking about lamellic.
There's a lamellic
stamp handles. So some jar impressions. We find these all up and down through Israel. Oded Lipschitz, I think, who did the report on this, is very well known for these, for studying these and publishing on these. That is not the late Bronze Age.
No.
That is after the kingdom of Israel has been well established, and and they've already split into Israel and Judah, and so that has nothing to do. Not only does that have nothing to do with Exodus and Moses, has nothing to do with the conquest, has nothing to do with David or something. Mm-hmm. They've already split, and now we're dealing with the well into the Iron Age, the split of the kingdom. So we're way off. How does Jim Carrey's? I was way off.